Hey, what's up guys, Young Heavy here. Today we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to start the Aerosoft Airbus A319 Professional for Prepare 3D V4. This is the A319, but this tutorial would work with the A318, A320, and A321 as well. This should also be similar to the A330 family. We are situated at Toronto Lester B. Pearson International. This is Fly Tampa. We're going to be heading down to San Francisco International in the Delta livery. So, this should work with the FS Labs Airbus A320 series. However, if you want a more realistic systems, then you should totally get the FS Labs. I just got this because I can't afford the FS Labs. Alright, so we're gonna head in, climb the jetway, pretend we're just walking in. Where's the airplane? Oh, there we are. And here we are. So, we're in a cold and dark state, which is basically where everything is off. Every display is off. Every switch is off, every light is off, except for this external power. So, to start, you'd want to come in here, reach up to the overhead panel. In the elec panel, you're going to see battery 1 and battery 2. Click battery 1, and then click battery 2, and then that should show some voltage on both batteries. Make sure they're enough. Go over here, you want to brighten up each display. So this is the primary flight display, the ND. Get some lights in. We're going to get the ECAM. And let's get some cockpit lighting. Seatbelt signs. Get our overhead integrated lights. Nevin logo. And now we can turn on the external power. And now the whole thing should come alive. You'll see every panel is lit here. You want to reach over here and arm the emergency exit lights. And right here, bring it to test. And now make sure every single light is illuminated. So start up here, we're gonna scan down here, start in the middle, scan upwards, and it should all be lit. Now we'll go over here, you'll see the UTC message light is lit, Autoline is lit, pull up, and GPWS is lit. Master warning, master caution, side stick priority. All of these numbers are lit, and let's look down here. No bulbs are broken. Everything is good. So we can come back up here. I like to have it on bright. And then we'll come down here. We should have these little dials we can spin to turn on the brightness for these. And now we can come over here and test the GPWS.
Glide slope.
Alright.
Pull up. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up.
Looks good. That's working. We'll come over here. We'll click all of these bumps. We'll come over here to our ADIRSs. Switch all of them to nav. Then you want to come down here to the FMC. Go here. Initialization page and enter from N2. We're coming from Toronto, so Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu slash, and then we're gonna go to San Francisco, so Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar. Click here, return, IRS initialization, align IRS. That should go away, and we're gonna input our flight number, so Delta Airlines 88. I don't think this route actually exists in real life, just pretend it does. Cost index is going to be 45. That's just something I made up on the spot. Flight level is going to be 360, so 36,000 feet. Now you want to go click this button right here, which is to the next page. And alright, so we got to input our fuel. In the meantime, you can see here, IRS in a line, 14 minutes. So 4 minutes, I cannot read. 4 minutes and then it will align. And these displays will work. In this menu, you want to go to ground services. Oops. Load fuel, load fuel. Enter your passenger number. We'll have 122 people on board. 5 metric tons of cargo. And we will need 18 metric tons of fuel. Now we can load instant. And there we are. So, come over here, click this, and then click it again. Now go down to block, click, and then click again. And now everything should fill up. For the reserves, you want to input 2.8. So 2.8. And I'll leave the routes and everything that you'll need in the description below if you want to try this flight plan. Yeah. So, now that you've done that, go to flight plan. And we're going to need a standard instrument departure. So go here, departure, and we're going to be using 3 right. And now look for your departure that you want to use. So I'm using Online Flight Planner, which is not that good. You don't want to use it. It's better to get PFPX or SimBrief. So just call temporary inserts. And we have a manual, so you want to clear that. Clear the discontinuity. Scroll down. You'll see YQU. Okay, you know what? Let me actually do this normally. Click here. Departure. Let's actually get 23, runway 23, which is the longest runway at Pearson. And our first waypoint is Hotel Oscar Charlie Kilo Echo. So you want to look for a HOCKE, I don't know how you say it, HOCKE departure. Although, if you don't find it, which is one of the limitations of Online Flight Planner, doesn't tell you the departures, so you're gonna have to scroll through all of this. Click here. No transition. We're gonna click here. No transitions, of course. Nope. Yep, my co-pilot just coughed. Should be in the transition somewhere in one of these departures. Nope. Hopefully it's here. No. Just keep scrolling through. Oh, found it. HOCKE. Temporary insert. Scroll down. We'll clear the manual later. Here is HOCKE. Click here. Click to Airways, and we're gonna insert after HOCKE is Quebec 824 as our airway. So we'll go here to Quebec Q 824, input it in this space right here, and then it's Foxtrot November Tango. Foxtrot November Tango. And then you're gonna have another spot here where you're gonna input Juliet 36, which is the next airway. And the next waypoint is Delta Uniform Tango Yankee and Sierra duties put here. Next waypoint is Juliet 16, so input Juliet 16 right here. And then Mike Charlie Whiskey. Mike Charlie Whiskey. Put that there. And then Juliet 148. Juliet 148. And then after that is Oscar November Lima. Oscar November Lima. Then Juliet 94. Oscar Charlie Sierra. Oscar Charlie Sierra. And then we gotta scroll down, so click this up arrow. Or not. Temporary insert. Scroll down. You get Oscar Charlie Sierra. Click here. Click Airways. And then Juliet 154. Then Tango Charlie Hotel. And then Juliet 56. And finally, Mike Victor Alpha. Mike Victor Alpha. And then temporary inserts. Now, if you're flying on VATSIM, you'll finish it here. However, if you're flying offline and you just want to get your arrival programmed as well, click your arrival right here. Arrival. Choose a runway. Normally you'll look at METAR data. I will just wing it and choose whatever the hell I want, because that's how I operate. I don't care which runway I use. Looks like we'll get 28 right. We'll choose 28 right. And scroll down, find... Oh, great. So we're looking for MVA as a transition. Great, this one doesn't have it. Click here. Nope. Here. Scroll down. Nope. No transition with that. Golden. Nope. Oh, MVA transition. Click that. Temporary inserts. And now it all should be there. So, click airport until you reach CYYZ. Clear the manual. Clear the discontinuity. Scroll down. You should find another discontinuity. Clear the discontinuity. And temporary inserts. Now your flight plan has been programmed into the FMC. You can now go to performance. And you want to select how much flaps you want. So I'm going to take flaps 2. And it should fill everything out for you. Now that that's done, you should take a look at the METAR data for Toronto. Our case, we have 18 knot winds gusting to 29 knots, heading 330. So that's just great. We're gonna die. We have some broken clouds at 5,800, and then more broken clouds at 8,800 feet. And our altimeter is 2985, so you want to come over here, switch this to that, 2985, so go down 78685. Now that's done, you can come over here and put either your transition level if you're flying on VATSIM, or in my case, if you're lazy, just input your cruising altitude, and push this in by left clicking. And now that should be done. Your IRS should be aligned. And your FMC should be filled out. So, in this case, you want to disconnect the jetway. So we're just going to go into SOD, Sim Objects Display Engine, Auto Undock. We're going to close the door. Return aircraft doors. Front left, we are going to close that. Ground services, we're going to remove traffic cones, remove wheel shocks, and what we're going to do is, I said removed.
Captain, the cabin is secure, all passengers are aboard.
Well, that's good. Alright, so master switch and start for the APU right here. So we're going to wait for the APU to start. And once it starts, it should say available, or down here, You should also say available down here. So flap open, that means it's now starting up. The N is percentage is rising. Temperature is also rising. And APU generator percentage should stay fairly low because we're on ground power. The percentage is the usage. Okay, available. So you're gonna see the percentage is at 0, disable ground power, and percentage is at 42, and then it switched away. 42. That means now there's a load on the APU. It's now powering the aircraft. The ground is no longer powering the aircraft. So want to come over into the FMC, get rid of the external power and the wheel shocks. Well, we're gonna get rid of that, well, when we push back. Now that we have APU, we can come over here, turn on our APU bleed, and beacon light on. Now that that's on, we can come over here and click pushback, set where you want to go. I'm gonna take 90 degrees, right, 9 meters, sure. We're gonna start.
Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, sir.
Ground, we have ATC clearance for push and start. Please confirm ground equipment and services are clear.
Roger.
And he should contact us again.
The ground equipment and stairs are clear, all doors are closed. Steering pin is in position and we're ready when you are, Captain.
Start pushback.
Roger, sir. Please release your
Parking brakes released.
Start and pushback. You can start both engines at your discretion, Captain.
Okay.
Alright, so now he's gonna push our aircraft back. So, now you wanna come over here to the overhead panel. Make sure APU bleed is enabled. And then you wanna reach down here. Ignition, start. And then engine number 2, flip this up.
Starting engine 2.
So now it's going to start the engine number 2. You can also start, oops. I didn't mean for that to happen. Okay. Also, run your clock. This is going to be your block time.
Engine 2 is stabilized.
And now you're going to hear the power transfer units right now.
Starting number 1.
And engine number 1 is starting. Monitor everything, make sure it's all going good. We're about to hit the terminal. Ignore that.
Engine 1 is stabilized.
Alright, so engine 1 is stabilized. Now you want to come over here, flip this to normal. Overhead panel, turn off your APU bleed, turn off your master switch. And now the engines are started. Okay, and finally he decides to stop. He's going to contact us again. When he contact us. Okay, never mind. Just ignore him. So, now that that's started, everything is good. When I come over...
Pushback is complete, Captain. Please set your parking brakes.
Alright, so there you are.
Parking brakes are set.
Flip this to flight
Okay,
control.
then, Captain. Tow bar disconnected. You know steering pin is removed. All clear. Signal on the right. Have a good run, sir.
Alright, we're gonna test the flight controls. You wanna bring your yoke, or... I mean, you're gonna bring your stick, or God forbid a yoke. Go to full left. Make sure your speed brakes on the left wing are deployed. Right aileron is down, and left aileron is up. Center that. Bring it to the right. make sure it's the same. Center, pull back, make sure your elevators are back. Center and push forward, make sure they're down. Good. Now test the rudder, full left, center and full right, and center. Now it says 2/up08. That is your trim. You want to go from here to around there. So just give one flick, it should be around there. And over here, confirm says 0.8 up, which is good. Now it's going to give you your takeoff checklist sort of right here automatically. It says auto brake set to max, so we're going to set that. Cabin is checked, that will happen automatically. Spoilers armed, so you're going to come over here to the spoilers or the speed brake lever. Right click, that's going to arm that. Flaps to take off, so set it to 2. And we're going to test the takeoff config once we are holding short of the runway. Now you can bring your nose taxi lights on, runway turn off lights on. Release your parking brake. Give some throttle. And begin rolling. And boom, you started the Airbus A319. Now this isn't a very advanced startup, this is sort of the startup that you do when you're new to the plane. There are much better startup tutorials online which are more in-depth. You definitely want to check those out after you've done this a couple times. This is sort of the lazy man's way of starting up an aircraft. Just, you know, flip some switches. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you guys want any other tutorial, just let me know. I'm going to do a Boeing startup tutorial later on once I get the 777. And we will be doing a couple full flights in the future when I don't feel lazy. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.